Bone adds flavor. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel. It is done got to the end of August, guys, already this year. How the year has flown by. But I'm finna rebuild me a little bed right here. I got this little ring that actually was a bed about right there where y'all standing, and I took them out so I could mow through there with a lawnmower and make it more easier. But now we finna set that over here. Took my little Vevor mini tiller here, and guys, I love this little baby. It don't get used that often, but I've had it a year now. I think I've had it a year, going on a year. I don't use it that often. But every time I get it out and I pump that little primer bulb about 10 times, if I got the switch turned in the right direction, it usually fires up in about 4 pulls. Just then, I think it took a few more because I reached up there and I had my switch turned on wrong. But if you're interested in a little mini tiller that don't break the bank, and I think it's a pretty decent little tiller, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can go check out these Vevor tillers. But I just went to town. I'm wanting to get some onion sets and start my onions to overwinter, and I like getting them by day of varieties. But the 2 places in town ain't received none yet, so I picked up some onion bulbs, and I'm gonna plant some bulbs in this little bed. And I'm gonna go on and do it today, even though it's done got up to 95 degrees and it ain't even lunchtime yet. But in my little trailer there, I'm finna back over here, and I got some of my compost I'm gonna put right there, and I'm gonna mix it up, and then I'm gonna set my little homemade contraption there, whatever you want to call it, a bed edging or whatever. Set it down, and then we're gonna plant them onion bulbs. I had tried earlier to start some onions from seeds right here, and I keep forgetting to keep them moist to start, and as hot as it is, they need to be moistened 2 or 3 times a day, and I just kept forgetting to do it. So that's why I decided I'm gonna go on with make a little bed and plant these bulbs here. So these bulbs will keep coming back, and you can just keep cutting the tops off for green onions. So let's see if we can set this little bed down in here. I'm going to take my little hammer and use it to dig with. It ain't got to be sunk nowhere, because I'm going to push that loose dirt back up around it. Shovel some of that right in there like so. And I may have to go get me some more compost, I don't know, that'd probably be good enough. I don't care that the bed ain't full. I just wanted something here that I could weed eat up against without getting into my onions. That's the main reason for the little beds. I had growed onions a couple of years right here just in the ground. But when the weeds start getting up in there, then I get mad and just weed eat the whole mess down. So now we're going to have a little bed. Already got this compost here. I might as well use the rest of it. That looks good enough to me. I don't know about y'all, but if I didn't say, I don't know what these bulbs are. That's the thing about when you buy bulbs at your local feed and seed, you really don't know exactly what variety. But they'll make a green onion, and we're just gonna plant these around in here about every 6 inches. Soft as the soil is, I can just punch them down in there a couple inches and cover them. If you're around Oak Grove, Louisiana, these here come from the corner market. And I'm hoping she can get some onion starts in, the slips, and Vidalia variety ones, but she ain't sure if she's gonna be able to get them this year. And I wished I had them right now, because I like getting mine started so they could be setting good root before our first frost comes. Well, we'll have our first frost, and then it'll turn back to summertime for another 6 weeks. Or that's usually the way it works. But I like to have them started early, so they can get a good hope to overwinter to help survive through the winter. Now, the last 2 years, we've been having such cold in the winter. This last winter, it got down to 10 degrees there one night. And even though my onions that I'd had over in that bed was covered, it put the hurt on them, but I still ended up with a decent onion crop for bed growing onions, but they didn't get as size as they could have or should have. But like I said, they went through so much freezing. I was happy with what I got. These are going to be plenty thick. Like I said, this is mainly just to always have a green onions growing to have something to cook with. Another good thing to cook with is right here behind me is these garlic chives. I had someone come this morning picking some more muscadines, and his wife was with him, and she seen them, and she said, "What is that?" And I told her. Well, I cut her a big old wad out of the top of them there to take home to cook with. And I told her we could come bust that up right here, and she could take a wad of them home and plant them, because they'll grow just about anywhere, and you always get something to cook with. Guys, you can take onions, like these onion garlic chives and them onion chives, and if you ain't got no other seasoning, you can take your venison and you can cook it in these onion chives and onions, and you could have something to eat, whether you had salt and pepper or any other seasonings or not. And And after 2020, it made me start thinking again, and that's one of the biggest reasons I garden, besides I just like it. Is by George, I always want to know that I got something to eat. It may not be exactly what I want, but we gonna have something to eat if it ain't nothing but meat and wild game meat and stuff out of the garden. That right there is a half a pound of them little bugs planted in there. So they ought to come up good and thick. Now we're gonna give them a good watering in. I wished I knew what variety these were, but I don't. But I'm gonna start me some, I ordered them, they ain't in. I actually started a half a bed yesterday. I had some old Texas Grand seeds to do a half a bed over. I just planted yesterday evening late. And I ordered me some more seeds, and when they come in, I'm gonna try to start them in just a start tray in case the corner market or the feed and seed store don't get no onion starts. I have me some little ones. They gonna be late getting planted, but I want my onions. So let me go get my water and water these in real good. Millie, get out of there. You done lost your mind. Old Millie there's my grandkid's dog. We having to babysit this weekend. You finna go over here and start digging in what I just planted. But as dry as that is, I'm gonna really soak this down this first time. Because as hot as it is, you just soak the top couple inches, it ain't gonna last long at all. So I'm pretty much gonna flood it. So that's a good 6 to 8 inches of good loose soil that's gonna need to soak all that up. We'll let that soak up a while, then I'll probably come back and do that one more time. Now these are the bunching onions that I started in that little ring the same time I tried to start them over there in ground. But them over there just didn't take, plus I kept forgetting to water them. You can see them there, they done stood up there about 6 inches. And then yesterday evening late, you see this side the bed's wet. I had some old onion seeds, and that's one thing, onion seeds, they don't last that long. Especially when I feel that they already old when they get to us. I already done been in storage and stuff, and then I've had them a year or two. So a lot of them, you don't never know if they're gonna take or not. I get my new seeds in, I might put some right there and then try to start me some in the tray, and we get some slips in at the corner market, then I'll plant them off over in one of them beds. Or 2 of them, whatever it takes. I want more onions next spring than I had this year. I'm going through my onions pretty quick this year. There's another update on the red Russian kale that I just started outdoors this year. It's back in July. Now we've been knocking on the door 1st of September. My little Catarina cabbages that I just started outdoors in the bed, around under this tomato plant. They doing all right for this high heat, starting them outdoors. And the asper broccoli is coming on good, but now they're done getting big enough. I need to start putting a little spray for insects, because you can see the insects are starting to eat them up pretty good. Cauliflower, didn't but just a few of them start, but yesterday I planted some more seeds around out there. I'm determined to start the majority of my fall stuff straight out in the garden this year and not starting indoors. Now you can do that when you can get your seeds from your local feed and seed places. But when you buy them little packs online and stuff from them seed suppliers, you don't get but 20, 50 seeds for $2 to $4. You go to your feed and seed store, you may not be able to choose the variety you want, but you can get a whole scoop for dang $1.50. Throw them in there thick. A lot of them don't come up, it don't matter. You ain't wasted that much money. So that's what I'm trying to do this year, to keep from having to start stuff indoors for a fall garden. A fall garden, you need your stuff going like this. It needs to be going for that. If you ain't, you may not make it past the first frost, and then like I said, you're gonna get that one hard frost that's gonna kill all your warm weather stuff out that one night, and then we're gonna turn back in the summertime for about 6 to 8 weeks before we start getting the frost and stuff again. That's normally how it happens. Now the next thing I'm finna do, guys, is take these little saker trimmers. These are some handy little tool to have. And we finna cut all this old thyme back, because I had done quit watering it. It has about all died. That there still's got a little green on it, so I'm finna give it a shot of water. And I don't think none of that's gonna come back anyway, but I am gonna give this a shot of water. Parsley down here needs a shot of water. I can't believe it's still making what little bit it's making, hot as it's been. I'm gonna trim them dead limbs right there off of it, and I'll give that a shot of water. But these little sakers right here, I had this, and I had the little 4-inch saker chainsaw. And the chainsaw I kept hanging on my lawnmower, so when I had low-hanging limbs, I could just whack them off while I'm mowing. And that joker fell off that lawnmower one day, and I turned and didn't see it and run over it and cut it all to pieces. But the good thing was the extra batteries, the chainsaw had 2 batteries, and the other one fits this saker here. So at least now I got 2 batteries for the little saker. But it's pretty handy, because we're finna go over and cut what couple of zinnias I got growing in a pot over there. They dying out. And we're gonna go on and cut them down today so I can haul them off. So let's go do that. There's a wheelbarrow load of stuff that I've been trimming on this morning already. Stuff that needed trimming and dying out. But if you got summertime zinnias, you can pull them out. I like just cutting mine right off with the dirt. I take a lot of these heads and just crumble them back up in them pots. They self-plant themselves, and I'll show y'all over here around this tree where I had them growing, in that whole bed up there. I done cleaned up a few days ago that the zinnias is already coming back. And here it is through this hot August weather, but they coming back. Well, the little saker ain't gonna cut them, they too thick down there. So we just gonna pull them out, and then I'll top this back off with the fresh pull. But all I do is take some of them ends that's dried up and just crumble them up in there. And this spring, some of these will come back on their own. Now when I top them off, I'm gonna do that again. I was just showing y'all how I do it. But I had zinnias growing all the way around this old dead tree stump here. And I cut them down. And you can see now they need watered severely. But they coming back up all the way around this thing. Same thing right here at my zinnia bed. Now they was coming up good when we got that last rain about 3 weeks ago. But now I mowed around that, weed eated some. But you can see them, they coming back up on their own in there. And we'll have some before frost. I'll be making little flowers again. And there'll be some coming back this spring on their own. That's what I like about zinnias. You get ready to clean them up, you just pull them out. Top it off with soil and then take you some of these and crumble up and you already planted for next year. And you might get some fall growing out of them. And then a lot of these I pull off and I just put them in a bucket. Put them in my greenhouse and save for next spring, and I'll come around and crumble a few more up in there and you ain't got to keep buying zinnia seeds. Been doing that for 2 or 3 years now. So guys, I'm going to top this off with soil, do that, clean my mess up, and that's done with the gardening for today, I think. Alright guys, a lot has happened in the last 3 or 4 hours. But the FedEx truck just came up, and I got me a new Vevor tent. Now I've had one of these tents before, and I put it up out there in the garden before I built this cover right here, and I left it up, and I just left it up, gonna leave it. Well, the storms came and of course it tore it up, but now I got a new one I'm finna put up right here, because this is my working area where I will sharpen my lawnmower blades and all of that. So we finna put up this Vevor tent. If I can get it out of this box. And y'all notice I got a lot of Vevor stuff. It comes with a nice little bag here with wheels on it, but I ain't gonna be needing that. There's the canopy part. And here's sandbags that you can use to put sand in if you want to use these tents out on the beach. I was saying I got a lot of Vevor stuff because their price is good and their stuff that I get good for the price they selling it for, just like this Vevor dolly right here. I think this one's the mid-size, and I'll leave a link to all this stuff in the description below the video. But I bought my mom the smaller size that they can keep because it folds up like that. They can keep in the trunk of their car, handle goes down, and the smaller size they can keep in the trunk of their car. And when they go to Wally World buying their groceries or cases of water or whatever they get, cases of Cokes, they in their 80s. They can use that dolly and dolly it right from the trunk of their car right into their house, and they ain't got to be toting all that heavy weight. So you look in the Vevor website, you can find a lot of good gifts. But these are easy to put up, real easy if you had 2 people. I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit, and then I'm going to set the canopy on top of it. put your canopy on it before you tighten it up, and it's easier to set over. Got each corner goes right over the corner. And I'm doing this by myself. If you had two people, you could have done had it up. That's about as far as I can get it to open up from the outside. So now I'm going to go up under the middle. And I'm going to shove up right here. Oh, my canopy fell off, guys. The wind blew it off. Hey. There we go. Now we'll stretch this back over. Now we're getting somewhere. It'd be better if I had two people, but I don't. But we've been to punch these little buttons here, raise these legs up, one at a time. Then you want to come back, you want to shove up on this till it locks in place. I like how easy they got these little thumb locks. See how quick they unlock? Then they got little Velcro straps in here. You Velcro it around your bars. Now I'm going to scoop this right over against my shed. And there you go, guys. It pops up that easy. Now, if you're doing this on the beach, you can take these bags that it comes with, fill them with sand, Velcro them around each leg, and hold your legs down. But probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie that one to that post right there, tie that one to that side of my building, and I'm going to take me a little stake and I'm going to stake it down right here. So this is where I need it so I can work and be out of the sun. Guys, that's Vevor Tough Tools half price. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. You can check out this tent and other things they have to offer. I have a lot of stuff from Vevor, from this to a great ice maker that's been working all summer long great, keeping me ice for my drinks, to my Vevor sand filter here on our swimming pool that's been working great for 2 years now, to my Vevor mini tiller that we was using at the beginning of this video, to my Vevor reel that I mounted on my air compressor, and I also have a video of me how I mounted this on my air compressor so it's airways with my air compressor, to many other tools that I have is Vevor, guys. And to this day, I don't have nothing Vevor that I know that I haven't been satisfied with. So everything has been great with all of my Vevor tools. But guys, that's it for today. I got my tent set up. Sounds like somebody's pulling in the driveway over there. And we finna cook up something here. So y'all stay with me and I'll see y'all next time. Guys, tonight for supper we're gonna start out with a little rice here. I got a little water in there in my electric pot. We're gonna boil up that rice. We're gonna make some chicken soup here. While that rice is in that water, we're gonna throw in about 3 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt in with the rice. And then we'll be back in a moment. A few minutes later, we're gonna take some cream of chicken soup. Dump right in this pot. And this is Campbell's cream of chicken. I like Campbell's canned foods. We're gonna stir that up a little bit. Yes, our rice ain't cooked yet. It's actually gonna cook in that Campbell's soup and a little bit of water that I put in there. We're going to put the lid on it, let that melt down a little bit. Now I'll rinse the can of Campbell's soup out, pour that in there, rinse that out with water. Next we're going to go in with 2 potatoes. These is gold potatoes, and then I got some chicken from the chicken I cooked on the grill a couple days ago. And some of it's the breast meat without bone, and some of it's the wing with bone. Bone adds flavor. We're gonna put that in there. I'm gonna put the top on it and let it simmer a little bit, then I'm gonna add some seasoning. Now what we're about to add is a little sea salt. We're gonna add us a little black pepper. We're gonna add us a little celery salt to this. And we're gonna let this simmer down. And we're gonna have us a chicken rice soup is what we got. We got chicken, rice, potatoes. Now yes, you got your chicken bones off the wings in there. That adds for some flavor. And that is what we're gonna have for supper. We're gonna let this have a slow simmer for about 30 minutes. And then it'll be supper time. This is what you call supper time out of making leftovers out of leftovers out of leftovers. I got some little cornbread in here. I'm finna try to get some of this out with the bone in it. You can take leftovers. You can make all kind of good suppers out of it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. See y'all next time.